Under caution for the first time today here at Texas Motor Speedway, the 52 car of Donnie Neuenberger has had contact with the front straightaway wall. Now, there was some contact between this car and the 7 of Mike Wallace.
Yeah, Mike Wallace and Stephen Wallace were racing coming out of turn 4, and the 52 car tried to move up out of the way of Stephen Wallace in the 66, and Mike got into the back of the 52 right on the front stretch. See him just before the start-finish line right here. Mike's just trying to come down, clips the 52 car.
New car for Jimmy Means in that organization, so a tough one here. Our Castrol GTX triple pits as the leaders are on pit road. Mike.
And we begin with Kyle Busch. He's very happy with his race car, not calling for any changes, just 4 tires and fuel to the leader's machine. Dave?
33 is on pit road. They gave up second position. It'll be just an air pressure adjustment for Kevin. Don't get the front any tighter, but I've got to have the rear end tightened up just a little bit. Jamie? Shannon?
Carl just asking for overall grip on this number 60 car. They're going to take 4 tires. They are going to make an air pressure adjustment on this 60 car for Carl Edwards just to help him out a little bit. And the 18-win battle off pit road.
Just a shade over 14 seconds on the pit stop for Kyle Busch. He will hold the point. Joey Logano second. Reagan's Trimmy. Scott Wimmer gains a spot, the 29 bunch. Pat Smith and company. David Rudemann's group. Good pit stop there for Jerry Baxter and the Michael Waltrip team. Denny Hamlin loses 2 spots, and Jason Leffler will move into the top 10 by virtue of that pit stop. The lucky dog is the 40 car. Juan Pablo Montoya, first car lap down, and he gets the Aaron's lucky dog free pass. Back with a restart in just a moment. Working on the right front fender there in the 17 car that had been damaged in contact early on, trying to get that patch made.
They've done a pretty good job here. Just trying to do a couple last-minute things, getting back out there, but nice job getting it fixed.
Pretty good from here.
Yeah, he's going to have to hustle, though. They're coming to the green, and he's just getting off of pit road, so he's going to be quite a bit behind.
Might mention the 99 came back on the pit road, some damage on David Rudemann's car, and the 24 car had an uncontrolled tire. He had to go to the tail end of the longest line, Eric McClure. Kyle Busch will lead him down for the restart. It is Kyle Busch, Edwards, Logano, and Boyer, by the way. Clint Boyer came in 5th and gained the spot on pit road and will restart in 4th position. Remember, he started the race all the way back in 21st spot.
These restarts are usually times that things can really get kind of dicey. These guys have on new tires. They know that this is the best their car is going to feel.
You see Kelly Byers, he's the first car lap down. That orange car right in front of Carl Edwards. He's just not going to give it, move over for these guys because he's got a guy he's racing back there for that lucky dog spot. He wants to stay there.
Let's update the 10 car of Brian Vickers. Dave.
Yeah, Doc, here's a top 10 car that didn't make the restart. He's now 2 laps down, and just behind pit road, they're trying to replace the rear axle. Broke one. They brought it in. They're going to get back out there, but his chances of winning today, Brian Vickers, don't look good.
Yeah, that can happen on those when you start to leave the pits. You can either break the rear end gear itself, or you can snap that axle if you time it just perfectly. And that's timing perfectly is a bad thing sometimes. As you drop the jack and the driver hits the gas, then he can snap that axle. Brewer?
Got one right here, DJ. Remember earlier this year, Kevin Harvick, he had the same problem. When you load the car up, you drop the hammer on it, meaning the gas right here. That's where it sheared it earlier this year. Might have been a little tool mark right here, DJ. And if you leave a little tool mark, just shine that thing out just a little bit. That's where it's going to break right there.
Just shears right off, Tim, and certainly that's Clint Boyer. I'm sure probably the 10 car of Brian Vickers trying to be able to have a good run here in his final nationwide start of 2008. Kyle Busch having a good run, so is Carl Edwards. By the way, Joey Logano and Clint Boyer back in 3rd and 4th. These are the guys, these cars are involved in the Owners' Championship. Right now, the 20 car has a 44-point lead. Joe Gibbs Racing, the 20, over the 2 car of Richard Childress Racing for the Owners' Championship.
Looks like both of these cars are extremely good today. Joey Logano is, and I like the way he kind of goes about it. He doesn't try to be too flashy at the very beginning. He gets settled in and starts making headway and gets better and better as the race goes on. Shannon?
Logano looking right now to climb back into that top 5 right now, looking at the scoring pylon. He was about a 5 loose before that last pit stop. The guys went to work on that number 20 car. 4 tires. They made a wedge adjustment and an air pressure adjustment for Joey Logano just to try to get some grip for that 20.
Joey qualified here for the NASCAR Sprint Cup race. He was the final car to make it in on time and speed. And I got to believe getting in a Cup race and having extra laps on a racetrack got to help you a little bit in terms of just familiarity with the racetrack.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the weekend's been good for him, even though we've heard him say that he struggled on the Cup side and would like to get that a little bit better. That time on this racetrack has to be better for him and getting the experience out here today. So he'll look back on this next year as he's running this the Sprint Cup Series full time and realize that this was a very valuable weekend to his career.
There's a 33 car, Kevin Harvick, and as you said, Andy, that 47 car of Kelly Byers, he's not a pushover. He wants to hang as close as he can and get that lucky dog as being the first car a lap down.
Yeah, he's not just laying over for him. He's giving him plenty of room, though. You can see there he gives it to Kevin Harvick. And as long as he can make good lap times and maintain some separation to, it looks like right now it's the 27 car of Jason Keller, he'll stay in that lucky dog spot.
David Reagan was 6th in the 6th car, Martin 7th. Here is the 8th place car, David Strimmy, a 64 car, Rusty Wallace Incorporated. We talked about how much he appreciates the opportunity he's gotten to run here in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Sort of rejuvenated his career. This opportunity is what got him a chance to get back in Cup next year with a full-time ride with Roger Penske.
No doubt. He's got a good race car here today. He's been in the top 10 all day long. Comes David Rudman down the bottom of the racetrack. As you mentioned, David came back in to work on his car late on that last caution flag. Jamie?
Yeah, David Rudiman, DJ, he came in and he actually got the damage on pit road after exiting his pit box. It was right front damage, and because it was so early in the race, they said we have to come back in. They did make the changes, but he started 19th, worked his way up to 11th, and then on that restart, he restarted 20th. He's already working his way back up to 15th, so I think that was a good call by the team's part.
I think you're exactly right, Jay. You don't want to take any chances. As you see him trying to pass Jason Leffler here for that. Good call on the pit crew there to come back in. A lot of racing yet to do here.
We might want to update Brian Vickers. They have decided to call it a race because the broken axle was going to take them so long to fix it. They decided just to have him get out of the car and say, we're done. Dave.
And guys, Brian just getting out of the car right now, and looks like the crew made the repair, but not worth it at this point to keep going?
No, I mean, listen, there's no quitters on this team, I can assure you that. You know, we really want to thank Dollar General for all the support. We've got a great race car. We've got a fast race car. Unfortunately, we broke apart. We kind of beat ourselves. It's been our trend. We got to fix that before next season. I know we will. But, you know, we're in the 10 car this week. We're not running for points. We're already 7 laps down. And it's a great race car. We've run really, really good with this race car. So I'd really hate to go out there not running for points, making laps in 35th and tear it up, blow a tire, or something go wrong. I think that'd look pretty stupid. So I think we made the collective decision, just go ahead and park it and get ready for next season.
And next season for you, kind of not the way you wanted to end your 2008. It was going pretty well.
No, it really was. You know, it's definitely not how we want to end it. Not for Toyota, Dollar General, for myself, for anybody at Braun Racing. Really proud of these guys. They put some great race cars on the racetrack. Like this one, for instance. This is a great car. It's a fast car. That's why we don't want to take a chance on tearing it up. Unfortunately, we you know, whether it's bad luck or not, we just beat ourselves a little bit, broke a rear axle, took us out of the race, and that's pretty much the end of 2008 for us, but we'll be back next year.
And remember, guys, the plan next year is to have Dollar General with Bernie Lamar and Vickers driving 17 races between them.
Tough way to end the year for Brian Vickers. Kyle Busch now has led 42 laps here today. That means combined he has now led 4,000 laps in NASCAR's major competition in 2008. Wow.
Kyle Busch continues to lead the NASCAR Nationwide Series race from Texas Motor Speedway. We rejoin you from our ESPN pit studio, watching Kyle with a 2.5-second lead over Carl Edwards. Now Clint Boyer has moved in to 3rd position. Let's take a look at our Holiday Inn Express race summary while we show you some of those numbers. We talked about Carl and Clint on NASCAR Countdown, Rusty and Brad, and what they had to do today. So far, They're both doing it.
Well, right now, Boyer's not letting Edwards get away from him. He's haunting him right there. His car's running fast. He's running good right now. Had a solid run so far. And Brad, in my eyes, Boyer's doing exactly what he's got to do right now. Not let Edwards get away and not make any mistakes.
Yeah, both of these guys are doing exactly what they have to do to give themselves an opportunity. It just happens to be that Clint Bowyer has a better chance just by keeping Carl Edwards in his sight. Carl needs to try to continue to push the pace. If he can get up and win this race, it still looks like Clint's going to be right there waiting on him. So it's going to be tough to get away from Clint Bowyer.
You're a guy that's raced for these championships before, Rusty. How good a feeling for Clint when he made that last pass and saw that 60 car right in front of him.
Oh, that's a great feeling. I mean, the other good feeling for Bowyer was to start this race, Alan, and know, hey, this car's handling good. I got what I need to run up front and maybe win this race, and so it's a real comfortable feel. The bad thing would have been if Edwards just checks out and Boyer's got an ill-handling car. That's not the case right now, though.
Something to think about. Only one caution in this race so far. Each of the last 2 Nationwide Series races here in Texas have only had 4 cautions apiece. Doc, we're on another speed run today.
Typical Texas race, guys. Lots of speed. Everything's bigger in Texas here. Big purses, big excitement. And that big leads by the 18 car, like we saw here in April when Kyle Busch led 126 laps en route to his victory. By the way, if he could win this race today, we're talking about the 18 of Kyle Busch, he would tie Sam Ard for the most wins in a single season, the legendary short track driver. And we send along our best wishes and hello to Sam, who is struggling back at home. Sort of stretched out a little bit. Alan mentioned we've only had 1 caution flag for 3 laps. We've had 4 lead changes among 2 drivers. Kevin Harvick has led twice for 23 laps. Kyle Busch has led twice now for 52 laps. And by the way, going to break, I mentioned that Kyle Busch had now led over 4,000 laps for the season. That is combined in laps led in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, the NASCAR Sprint Cup, and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He led 87 laps last night here in the truck race and finished second to Ron Hornaday.
I've seen a whole lot of cars from the windshield, has he? He has to look in the mirror to see all the competition. Mike?
Andy, Doc, guys in the booth, you talk about all the amazing stats that Kyle Busch has racked up in 2008, and you got to wonder if it's more than just his driving abilities. In fact, I think it is. In fact, his crew chief, Joe Weidman, told me today that with the suspensions this Joe Gibbs Racing operation has incurred over the last couple of months, Kyle has really stepped up. He's become what they say, quote, a silent crew chief. And if you listen into his radio this afternoon, you could understand why. He's really diagnosing this race car, breaking it down in the corner. He's even suggested to Weidman what they should do the next time down pit road. He wants to be snugged up a little bit. He's already recommended an air pressure adjustment and a track bar adjustment, all from that seat. So he's more than just a driver, guys.
He's a pretty good driver, though. he gets a lot out of this thing. He does know how. He knows what he wants, and he's telling the guys how to get there. And when he gets what he wants, it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, and I think everybody at Joe Gibbs Racing was really pleasantly surprised to find that out about Kyle Busch, as we see the battle heating up for second here between the 2 guys that battling for the points. Also, the Clint Bowyer is running Carl Edwards down. Try to make that pass and let Carl know who's in charge of this championship battle.
Yeah, the season is winding down, and we talked to Clint Bowyer about his confidence and about what could happen here these final 3 events.
I think we're, pretty confident. We just can't stub our toe. We can't make mistakes. Can't let our guard down. We got to keep doing the things we're doing. We're back to beating the 60. Over the last couple months, he's beat us, but it really didn't. We didn't push the envelope to beat him. And last couple times we've stretched our points lead out with Kansas and again at Charlotte. So we just got to keep doing that. As long as we beat the 60, we're going to win this thing.
You can see Clint here trying to see Carl slip just a little bit. Clint really got a nice run there, but Clint's tried to have to take a little bit of a different route around here as Carl Edwards pulls over and lets him go. Now it looks like Carl's still fighting a loose situation on that car. Shannon?
Carl Edwards right now is saying that the car is pretty loose. Despite that air pressure adjustment, his crew chief just came over the radio and said, don't worry, we've got a long race. He's obviously aware that that was the 2 that just passed him. Clint Bowyer running for the championship. Carl Edwards said this past week that he felt he had the advantage because he was coming from behind. So I guess that's how Clint Bowyer felt coming into today's race, huh, guys?
Absolutely, and got to just say, you got to do the best you can and maybe able to hold on. And there is